Doctor, Doctor! This is a game of simple surgery published by Indie Boards and Cards. It comes in this nice box. It's a small game, very portable, and the box says that it is for 2 to 5 players, but you can also play it solo. I did it that way. You simply try to beat your previous record and to win in less time than you did before. Basically, during the game, you will perform several surgical operations, and if you complete them, you score points, and the first player to score 12 points wins the game. You're playing solo, see how long it takes you to score those points. We have a timer because surgery is a time-sensitive thing. We have this sort of plastic tub which you put upside down and becomes the surgical table. You have your trusted tweezers that notoriously are the most important tool in all of medical science ever. And then we have cubes, large wooden cubes or small plastic cubes. These cubes, as you will see, are used to represent blood pressure, and you can use these with beginners and these with experts. These cubes make the task a lot harder. That also means that you can play, say, an adult and a child can play together. The adult uses these and the child uses these, and the child doesn't use the timer, for example. Which is how we played it with Louisa, my 7-year-old daughter. I would use the hard cubes, she would use the easy ones. I had the timer, she doesn't. The game turned out to be very challenging and fun to play and perfectly balanced. There are many ways you can create balance around this design. We have a card representing a patient that I don't know why he looks so scared. I mean, my daughter Louisa is pretty confident. So then we have these cards. As you can see, they're weirdly shaped, and that is meant. They represent different organs on one side. On the other side is the back. On the other side, they have pretty much the requirements of a procedure. At the beginning of the game, you shuffle these cards, and you then draw 3 that go face up. And the first player can get to choose one of them to indicate the procedure that they want to perform. Then you shuffle these cards in a way that forms a stack, which is kind of messy, but also somewhat stable to an extent. You put it like that on the table. You put the patient, and you're ready to go. Suppose, let's take it easy, and use these cubes here. Suppose that the active player decides to choose this procedure here, this one. The number of cubes that you see here is the number of cubes that you need to stack on the patient to represent the blood pressure. And so as you stack them and you choose where on the patient they go, there's already a little bit of a decision that you are taking there. Also, after you play a while, you see how important it is to choose the right procedure among those available, because some may be easier than others. So suppose that the active player has decided to take that procedure. The active player has placed the blood pressure cubes there, and then we are ready to start. The timer is started, and then the active player will try to remove the cards indicated on the procedure. In this case, it is 2 heart cards from the stack. You can touch the table, and that's pretty much all you can touch with your hands. Then everything else, you cannot touch the cubes in any way, and the cards can only be touched with the tweezers. Looking at the stack, I don't know that choosing 2 hearts was all that great. But suppose that there were 2 heart cards, one on top of the other. I could pull them out in a single movement. That would have been great. So that tells you there really is strategy in that. You know, for fun, we do this one instead. So a heart and a bone, just because I see this bone here, which is so inviting. And pretty much you complete the procedure if before the timer is out, is finished. You remove those cards, and you don't make any other card fall. You don't remove any card other than those required, because you're doing an operation, you remove the wrong organ. That just looks bad on your CD. Also, you must not touch anything, and also you must not make the cubes fall. Want to see how he tries and how horribly I'll fail? Let's see. Ready, steady, go. Let's try with this one here. Okay. I push it out a little, push the rest back. That was okay. Now we need the heart. Oh, the blood pressure is already moving a little too much for my taste. Let's try with this one. Come on. Oh, the whole thing is coming with me. Nope, this is not gonna work. Let's try this one. Even worse. What the heck? There's like a hole in here. And that time, by the way, is out, and the blood pressure falls, and I flip the table. So this is the game. This is how it works. The cards that are removed from the body of the patient go to the area with the procedures. They become procedures. So when there are more than 8, you will take them, shuffle them all together. Basically, you reset the body of the patient. You reset the body of the patient also. When somebody flips the table, that shouldn't happen. But when, for example, a lot of cards fall from the body of the patient. And they did. That's it. Players continue taking turns, alternately taking turns, trying to save the patient, scoring the amount of points that you see on the card next to the star symbol if you do complete the procedure successfully, and the first player to score 12 points is the winner of the game. Dexterity games may not be my favorite kind of game, mainly because I'm so bad at them, but if a game is fun, and I don't mind playing it even if I know that I'm doomed. Dr. Doctor is one such an example of a game in which I am fairly bad at because it's a dexterity game, but it's really fun. It's really enjoyable. I definitely actually think that when it comes to simple, lighthearted, filler kind of game, this one may enter the rotation, may see some significant time on the table. The friends are coming, the friends are arriving, we're waiting for them before we start a big production game. Like, why don't we play Dr. Doctor? And maybe we don't finish the game, but we're definitely gonna have a good time seeing how bad everybody is. It's a dexterity game that is very hard. You can play with children, and as I recommend, you do some adjustments, make it easier, don't use the timer. You can totally play it with them. But if you play the full game with the plastic cubes and with the timer, it's really hard. Expect most people to fail, which can be a source of enjoyment in itself. You have to do it in a way that they don't become too frustrated, maybe. So again, there will be house rules. Depending on you want to really test your friends, well, then that's the way it is. But definitely there's a learning curve. It gets a little bit better. It's still a steep learning curve. It's still hard to get to the point where you'll be able to complete any procedure by the time the timer is done. There may be a little bit of a luck element here, not so much in pulling it. Technically, there's no luck there. It's just the physics of you pulling out the cards. But as the deck gets more and more messed up, well, the next player may have a really wobbly patient deck. Actually, maybe that the deck is kind of like looking a little bit like the leaning patient deck of Pisa, but that also means that a lot of the weight is on one side, and that means that the cards on the opposite side will come out easy. So as long as you don't make it fall, you may be able to complete some significant procedure without too much trouble. That is the default. Most cases will be really hard and challenging to complete, and that's fun. And from time to time, a player may get the opportunity for a really valuable operation in terms of game points that's just handed to them by fate. But the game is so quick, it's so simple, it has the silly atmosphere. It's just surgery, it's just brain surgery. You're playing a game with a topic of such a momentous topic, and at the same time you're just having a good time and it's silly. So there will be comedy involved in that. It's a light-hearted game. If you lose a game because the opponent got 2 lucky procedures and because you failed miserably every time, chances are you're still gonna have a good time. Play a Euro game, play chess if you want to have only strategy and just full reward for your intellectual engagement. Dr. Doctor has some strategy, and I like that. The selection of the procedures is actually quite interesting because there's significant decisions that you're making there. At the same time, there's a luck element, there's a dexterity element that probably will not be under your control, not entirely, and voila. There's strategy, but it's light. It's can be chaotic, can be random, but for a game that is so light, so simple, and so quick, that's perfectly fine. It actually adds to the fun and enjoyment of the game. Doctor is just surgery, but I like it.